Today we're embarking on a day trip to one of the most outstanding monuments in Spain. Come and discover the majestic Real Monasterio de San Lorenzo del Escorial, also known as the Real Sitio de San Lorenzo del Escorial, or for short, El Escorial. Hola, I am Tony Galvez and this is Road Trip Spain and Portugal, where we help you plan the perfect trip with practical information and insider tips. El Escorial is one of the most interesting day trips you can do from Madrid, and the main purpose of this video is to help you prepare for the practical part of that trip. We're going to tell you a bit more about El Escorial. You will find out how to get there, how much time you should dedicate to the visit, how to get tickets, and if you stay until the end of the video, you will discover that there is a time slot when visits are free. How wonderful! The monastery of San Lorenzo del Escorial was commissioned by Philip II. One of the monarch's main motivations was to build a monastery to support the new burial place designed for his relatives. Construction of El Escorial began in 1563 and was completed 21 years later in 1584. The architect who completed the work and the one who brought it fame was Juan de Herrera, who employed an austere Renaissance style. During the last years of Philip's life, the royal site became the greatest center of political power on earth. The monarch died in the monastery itself. The royal site is today a symbol of the power of the Spanish Catholic monarchy during the golden age between the 16th and 17th centuries. In 1984, UNESCO included the royal monastery in the list of World Heritage Sites. As well as being majestic, El Escorial is gigantic. Its dimensions are extraordinary. Within the same complex, there are many different parts. Among others, there is the Basilica, the Palace of the Bourbons, the Royal College of Alfonso XII, the library and the convent. Not forgetting the gardens, which are quite extensive and open to visitors with beautiful views of the complex. In fact, remember to set aside time for the gardens. You will spend a substantial amount of time visiting the monastery, but the visit doesn't end when you leave the monument. You'll still have the tour of the gardens, where you can easily spend an hour. When you enter the monastery, ask when the gardens close so that you don't run out of time to visit them, as they are a very pleasant part of El Escorial. As neither photos nor video are allowed inside the monastery, the images you are seeing were taken in areas where you have permission to shoot. We're not going to show you the inside of the monument. We leave it for you to enjoy and be surprised when you visit it. But we felt we had to mention three of the most incredible places in El Escorial, which we are going to illustrate with photos from the El Escorial website. One is the Sala de Batallas, the Room of Battles, with its gigantic representations of several historical battles. They are amazing, if only for their enormous dimensions. The second place is the Panteón de Reyes, the Pantheon of Kings, where many Spanish monarchs are buried, a rather moving place. And finally, the sublime Biblioteca, the library, which for someone who works with books like us is the most delightful part of a visit to El Escorial. You must be thinking, Tony, of course I'm not going to miss those places. That's not going to happen. The problem is that you can actually miss them because the complex is gigantic and at times feels like a labyrinth. It's very easy to get distracted and, for example, miss going up to the library, which would be a real shame. And while we're on the subject of the length of the visit, you should expect to spend a minimum of 2 hours during El Escorial, although that time could be considerably longer, considering that you'll still have the gardens surrounding the building on the outside. Basically, plan your visit to El Escorial as if it were a half-day trip. Let's talk now about how to reach El Escorial. The monument is about 55 kilometers to the northwest of Madrid. To better understand how to get to the monastery, the first thing to do is to explain that there is a town called El Escorial and another called San Lorenzo del Escorial. The monastery is next to San Lorenzo del Escorial in an elevated position above the town of El Escorial. We will talk about these two places again in a moment. The first option to get to El Escorial is a car, either owned or rented. It is very easy. Put San Lorenzo del Escorial in the GPS and drive out of Madrid on good roads that will take you to El Escorial an hour later. When you arrive at the monastery, you will have to find a place to park, which is not always easy. The second option is the bus. It leaves from the Intercambiador de Moncloa, the Moncloa interchange, and arrives at the San Lorenzo del Escorial bus station approximately 1 hour later. It is very easy to get to the Intercambiador de Moncloa by metro or even on the free bus line 001, which already has a video on the channel. When you enter the Intercambiador, look on the information panels for the bus lines to San Lorenzo del Escorial, as we explained recently, not the ones to El Escorial, which are 661 and 664, either of which will do. The buses are green and the company responsible for the service is ALSA. You can buy the ticket directly from the driver, you don't need to buy it in advance. In the description of the video, we will put the link so you can check prices and timetables. There are several departures per hour. Sit back, relax and enjoy the journey to San Lorenzo del Escorial. When you arrive, you will get off at the San Lorenzo del Escorial bus station, very close to the monastery. Exit the station at the back and follow the arrows to the monastery. You will cross the town and in less than 10 minutes you will be in front of the monastery. And the third option for getting to El Escorial is by train. It is a middle distance train operated by Renfe, which can leave from Príncipe Pío station or pass through Atocha and Sol stations depending on the line you choose. 1 hour and 5 minutes later, it should arrive at El Escorial station. You can buy tickets at the time of travel. In the description of the video, again, you will see a link where you can check prices and timetables. There are frequent services throughout the day. The problem with the train is that it will drop you off at El Escorial station, and to get to the monastery, you will have to walk to San Lorenzo del Escorial, and to your dismay, it's all uphill. Therefore, what we recommend is that you do as we did the last time we went to El Escorial. Go by bus and return by train. The outward journey by bus has already been explained. To return by train, it's a very quiet walk from the monastery, which we show you now on the screen. It's all downhill, follow the arrows showing the way to the train station. When you get to the sign we are showing you now, instead of going straight ahead on the path to the train station, turn right towards the Jardines del Príncipe, the Prince's Gardens. You will enter a nice long walk that will take you almost to the train station, and it's all downhill. At the station, buy your ticket at the ticket office or from the vending machines, and then all you have to do is wait for the train to arrive. It may seem complicated, but it's not. One piece of advice we want to share with you: before you travel, write down the timetables of the trains returning from El Escorial to Madrid, so that you have an idea of how long you will have to wait for the next train. Let's talk about the tickets to visit the monument. In the description of the video, we are going to leave you a link to the National Heritage website, Patrimonio Nacional, where you can see the prices and timetables for the visit. We don't think it is essential to buy tickets in advance, especially if you go in the afternoon when there are fewer tourists. You can buy them at the ticket office, which is at the entrance to the monument. This entrance, by the way, is not through what would be the main entrance in the Patio de los Reyes, but through the side of the monastery. And if you have been watching the video so far, here comes the reward. There is a free time slot for visiting El Escorial, which changes throughout the year and which you will now see on the screen. This free timetable is valid for citizens of the European Union and citizens from Latin America. In order to be entitled to those free hours, you will have to collect your tickets at the ticket office and show an official ID card, which could be your passport, national ID card, or driving license. We are not big fans of free visiting hours, which tend to be a big trap, especially in places like the Royal Palace in Madrid or the Prado Museum, where a large number of tourists gather at the same time. But the same doesn't happen in El Escorial because it receives fewer tourists, because the tours visit mainly in the morning and because many people don't even know that there are free opening hours. So if you want to save money, go to El Escorial in the afternoon if you are entitled to that free access, or even take the opportunity to have lunch in the village and then visit the grandiose monument for free if your passport allows you to do so. That's all we wanted to tell you about an extraordinary, magnificent place that it's well worth visiting. As always, if you have any questions, take advantage of the commentary box to ask. We will be delighted to try to help you. You will now see on the screen the video in which we present the main day trips from Madrid, including El Escorial. It's worth spending enough days in Madrid because, as well as having many places of interest, it offers a sensational range of day trips. Hasta más, hasta la próxima, see you soon.